I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
KB 65 is live. Oh, 7. We are back from Sitcon Direct. I'm sure you've all seen it. I'm gonna see it again. Oh my gosh. Lots been.
This is an audio test.
Yes, it is.
If you can hear the sound of my voice, please type Disco is a real cool guy in chat.
Let's say it again. What did he say? Is he can I hear?
I see Twitch, but YouTube. Disco is a real cool guy, YouTube. There you go.
Real funny. Yes. Oh man. I mean, yeah, I was just all you got to know is
Kenzo says Disco is not a cool guy.
Oh damn! All you need to know. Nyx is coming next month. Whether it be late, whatever the case, on time, Nyx is coming before the end of this year.
All right, we're going to start our 30-minute countdown in about 2 minutes.
Let's jump. Oh my God. Oh, machinima. This is Top Gun. Nothing but Top Gun right here. That is nothing but Top Gun. Oh my God. Oh damn. I like that. I like that. I did not see this one. That I like that. I really like that. Neat.
This year has marked a turning point in Star Citizen's history. We have finally moved past the question of whether we can build an architecture to deliver a universe with incredible detail at massive scale, seamlessly, and where thousands of people can all play together. Server meshing has been working pretty much flawlessly at scale.
Oh,
for the past 9
7.
months.
Hellfire.
It has
Thank you
brought a
for
more
the resub,
populated and
man.
active verse,
51 months in a
up to
row.
700 players online and in the same space at once. It's greatly increased server performance and delivered a much more responsive player experience. I couldn't be prouder of the team.
Hellfire.
They delivered something no other online game does presently. There may be other games out there that claim large player counts
getting Nyx.
or even the ability to mesh, but none do it at our detail, scale,
7
and
there.
seamlessness. Of course, there will be continued improvements to server meshing and to Star Engine, but having moved past this last big technological hurdle has allowed us to finally focus on quality of life and stability improvements, something that has long been overdue. We're about to deliver our 9th patch in 10 months, with content that has brought Star Citizen storytelling into new and exciting directions. We pushed more than 24 features and more than 2,000 bug fixes. And while there is still a long way to go, the game has gotten more stable, performant, and fun as a result. We see this in player metrics. More of you play every day. The daily average users is up 45% from last year, and your play time is up 15%. So more people venture out into the verse and stay there longer than ever before. And through all that, we've told the dual stories of the Frontier Fighters Assault on Pyro and the moral compromises being made to combat the regen crisis. Now, as those stories come to a rest for the time being, it's time to look forward to the next chapter of Star Citizen, where the instability in Pyro and the callous actions of some pave the way to new adventures, new locations, and new threats. Last year, we announced our next Star Citizen would be Nyx, home to the People's Alliance of Levski and bordering the Vandal threat. Today, we're proud to share that your adventures in Nyx begin not next year, but next month, when Star Citizen's third
There you go,
system
Chris.
comes online in Alpha 4.4.
There you go,
2
Chris.
new systems in 1 year. That's
There you go,
only
Chris.
possible because of the tireless work of our development teams,
Yes.
server meshing accelerating what's possible, the support teams behind the scenes, and most importantly, all of you. Now, I do miss that we're not all together under one roof this year, but in many ways, we're more connected than ever. Across the globe, many of you are gathering at watch parties, 9 of them with our developers in attendance, and countless others springing up in communities everywhere, and all happening simultaneously today. So even if we're separated by oceans and continents, we're bound together by the same passion for space, for discovery, and for this incredible universe we're building together. Whether you're at home or alongside your crew at a watch party, grab a drink, sit back, and let us take you inside our up-and-coming plans for the next year of Star Citizen.
With the foundational technology now in place, the content development of the game is no longer restricted, allowing us to forge ahead with building out our first 5 star systems. Nyx will see the much-loved Levski landing zone added back to the verse, while also bringing you one of its most iconic landmarks, the Glacian Belt. Here, you'll experience a new combined arms operation that will introduce new factions and new adventures for you to discover. With this edition of our 3rd star system, we're also going to do something that's at the heart of the entire Star Citizen experience, and that is to build it right in front of you. As we have done this year, with the addition of several major locations, such as the Hathor facility or the Lazarus complex, we will continue to unveil new Nyx content throughout the year. It's a slightly different approach to how we deliver Pyro, but we feel this gets the content into your hands sooner and shows our intent as we continue our march towards 1.0. I'm so incredibly proud of the work our teams have done and are continuing to do, and we're excited to have you on this next step of our journey. And as with any journey in Star Citizen, that begins with a little story.
Here we go.
In 2025, we introduced 2 major storylines spanning multiple patches, creating a living backbone for adventure across the universe. The first was Pyro Must Burn. It connected Stanton to Pyro and introduced the Frontier Fighters, who are relentless, brutal, and determined to wipe out any threats that cross them. And with this month's release, you'll now take part in the conclusion to that storyline. The second was Science Run Amok, with the Regen Crisis throwing the Empire into chaos, and you all jumping in to help the various corporations respond. Through that journey, we pulled back the curtain on ASD and its shady practices, uncovering long-forgotten Onyx facilities, and met new characters like Dr. Logan Yorit and Detective Arkham Mello of the Hokro Agency. And just like the Pyro Must Burn storyline carried us into a new system, Science Run Amok is now setting the stage for Nyx, the next step in the larger story we're telling on the road to 1.0. As this new chapter of Star Citizen begins, let's hear from just a few of the team members working to bring this next era of our universe to life.
Love my Terrapin. Love
When the Nyx
my
system was
Terrapin.
first discovered, the United Empire
beautiful,
of
man.
UE came out and did scans and kind of found out that the system wasn't really worth settling. The planets were too hard to terraform, the resources were too tough to get, so they opened it up. And one company saw opportunity
just
where the UE didn't.
insanely
TV client
beautiful.
services. And so they expanded into the system and tried to mine as much as they could, making a very slim margin by the sheer quantity of
gosh.
resources they were pulling out.
The system itself
David
sort of
Haddock.
ran its course from sort of a large corporate interest perspective,
Lord,
and then was mostly
what
left,
is up, man?
Now this ended
Rip,
up
it was a
being the
pleasure
ideal
tonight, man.
situation
Thank you
for the
so much.
People's
It was a
Alliance,
pleasure,
who
man.
were a group of revolutionaries who were trying to overthrow the dictatorship
I'm excited,
of the
man.
regime that was going on
I'm
in the
excited
empire at the
for the fact that
So
They are
they went
really
to the next system,
starting to get
and
these systems
established
moving.
What became known as Levski.
what's that?
They
Lord of
wanted
the
to
Drip.
make it everything that the UEE wasn't at this time.
What's that?
They set up what they saw as their ideal society, where everyone's voices would be heard, where everyone would be equal. But they've fallen onto hard
The
times.
Weissbaum.
So Nix today is kind of at an interesting point in its history. Now that the UEE has kind of transformed itself into a democratic society, what is their role? What are the People's Alliance rebelling against? And they still see the empire as being inherently unfair. They see their role as still trying to create a free and fair society. But on the other hand, they have more problems than ever. And there's new threats lurking around every corner. And they have to ask, are they prepared to handle that? Or do they need to turn to the UEE for help?
Oh boy. They're going to be stubborn in their ways. They're going to look for someone else to kind of come to their aid.
Making a star system is you approach it from kind of two angles in a weird way. What is this system bringing to the gallery? How does this new system plug into it, and what does it bring to the table from a sort of a flavor experience? We want to make sure that whatever.
David Haddock, if you know this or not, but David Haddock has been with Chris for quite some time. He's been helping Chris with storytelling when Chris was making films. And I've met David Haddock way back in 2013 at one particular Dragon Con, literally Dragon Con. He was there, met him for the first time. And he's basically what lore is, but he has a team. He has Will Weissbaum, he has Sherry Heiberg, Adam Weiser. So they're that group together. They're tasked with creating the universe in its storytelling and where it will lead into how we play the game, how we interact with the game. You know, and it is okay that they go back and retcon based upon developmental ideas that emerge to make things much better for gameplay aspects. But let me tell you, very detailed gentleman here. He's very, very, very detailed with storytelling, as is the rest of the team. And Chris leans on them a lot to make sure that the history, the lore, fits or merges and meshes with their vision of the game, so that when you encounter something, there is depth, there is a history behind it, and there's purpose within that. So this is really important because he and Chris and the team, the lore team, is fleshing out what these experiences will be like when you first encounter these systems. And so, you know, of course, Squadron 42 is basically the foretelling of a lot of things of why we play the game. But this is so cool, man. This is just it 07 Coffee. It puts to shame, or it really calls out to outside of indie gaming, which is very passionate. Thank you, sir. Thank you. This is a passion project. Period. And we may not see another game like this for the next 50 years because it takes a lot. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of resources. It takes a lot of creativity. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot. But when you see these things come together, I'm sorry, but truth be told, it puts to shame your landscape of certain games that try to kind of mimic or assimilate what Star Citizen brings to the table. I feel sorry for space games right now because, damn, Star Citizen is it. It's just it.
It's bringing to the company is unique and has some flair to it.
So the Nyx system is a remote system where people want to go and live free outside of the pressure and influence of the UEE. It's a remote and rugged system with a lot of hostility coming from the ever-present threat of Vanduul.
For some reason, man, the reason why I can remember his name, the Ian and Leyland, it's the aliens lore. It's the alien story. The movie 07 Skyhawk, Leyland. It's something about that name, and now it clicks with me. But you know what it is? Wait a minute. Let me come back to him.
The company
let it come to
is
him.
unique.
Let me go to him.
Has some flair to it.
So the Nyx system is a remote system where people want to go and live free outside of the pressure and influence of the UEE. It's a remote and rugged system with a lot of hostility coming from the...
I know why it's so easy for me to remember his name. When I see it's Leyland, it reminds me of the Alien movies. But here's the thing. This is the connecting part. And this is how I'm sharing this with you. This is how I remember his name. Oh my God, man. What is this love? What is this love, man? Guys, I'm humbled, man. You guys know you don't need to do this. Is crazy, guys. Thank you. Thank you. But, you know, I was saying this earlier today. And I met Crucian, and I said to him, I said, man, if it was not for Star Citizen, I would not have known that you wonderful people are in this world and we have this so much in common. Thank you all so much, man. Oh my God. Stop. Dude. Okay. All right. All right. No more, please. I'm just saying, man, it's just right now, man, you guys, it's just I'm humbled, but it's with if it was not for Chris, if it not for CIG, not for just bringing this community together and saying something clicks with this, something brings us together. And we realized, holy smokes, we had no clue. I mean, ups and downs, the relationships, the passion, the anxiety, the anger, the love. It held us together. It continues to hold us together. But man, I'm so thankful that this happened and I gravitated towards this because if I did not, I would not have known any of you. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But this gentleman, Ian Leyland, and I think of the movie Aliens and sci-fi, right? But what it is that ties me to remembering his name, his quality of work. He's the Star Citizen creative director. And some of the sets that he drew in, like the for the game, it was like a movie set. I would not be shocked. I'm sure he worked with movie sets, drawing and doing illustrations. So when I see that name, I cannot. I'm like, oh, Ian Leyland, boom. Can't make this up.
It's kind of like a frontier-esque thing. It's not lawless like Pyro. It's just kind of out there.
Guys, it's
Pyro's
just
more like a Mad Max wasteland.
Coffee.
And
look,
Nyx is more like
Coffee. I'm so happy that you get to see Nyx this year, man. Coffee's like, Kimmy, and I understood what he meant. I understood what Coffee was meaning. He was like, man, I'm not going to be the freaking Linus in the Great Pumpkin Patch this year. The Great Pumpkin is not coming this year. So no, I'm not going to be Linus, right? I'm not going to be the freaking Linus thinking that the Great Pumpkin is coming. But I am so happy for you, man, because you're like, whoa, Nyx is coming. Not end of year, next month. And to be honest, there's 31 days. So literally we are 1/3 past. There's only 2/3 left for October. Today's the 11th. And we're almost making it to the 12th. Yes, Coffee. 2 systems, less than a year. So it's saying that when they hired the number of people at CIG and they sat down in those seats, he brought people back to work. He wanted the collaboration because he understood it meant working together, brainstorming, and getting things moving on. But to know that period of them being hired to where it is now, and imagine as Benoit and Chris continue to build things out and to provide the developers the tools to interact, the assets in the library to start to get things to work. You know, what is that? The Starkitect, or what is that? Now it's like a sort of procedural type of thing now. But yeah, it's totally Star Engine. This is totally, there's no more Lumberyard. We can't, Genesis, thank you, Coffee. Genesis, right? Live long and prosper, man. That freaking Genesis is something else. I'm here to tell you. I feel like Prince. I'm about to say something going on that Prince tangent. The Genesis system. A world of never-ending happiness. You can always see the sun. Nyx at night. Yeah, I mean, yes, the oh my gosh, Coffee. Of course I'm talking about the land. I mean, no, not just the land stuff. The narrative for Nyx too, because we were, you know, our perspective of the game is ships and foot on the ground, right? Feet on the ground. Now with Nyx, it's about EVA, highlighting that aspect or that feature that Star Citizen brings to the table now. I you know, it opens the door for EVA FPS, right? Hello. Now you have to strategize. Now if you're in a group, it's not about sprinting or ducking behind something. Now it's about spreading out and getting angles and communicating, right? Coordinating. But that's potentially down the line, but it's there. It can happen. But yeah, I mean, the Genesis, whew, they're putting work in. I mean, let's go. They're putting work in, man.
Or like Deadwood, right? It's kind of like a smaller scope.
The emptiness and the loneliness is the defining factor. You're still going to find gangs, you're still going to find hostile presences, but it's where people go if they
Xylo
want
is still
to live
Xylo
off the grid.
Dude, he hasn't aged a bit.
Is the main peacekeeping force in Nyx.
They were
He has not
unhappy
aged a bit.
with the direction that the Empire was going.
He's still a dude. I can learn so much from him. It's like nothing gets him too high, nothing gets him too low. it's even keel with Xylo. It's even keel with him. I don't know what it is, man, but I need some of that, whatever it is. But yes, and DJ, man, DJ is still DJ. Those guys don't age, man. I don't know what's going on. It's a lesson for us to learn, man. Enjoy things, man. Learn to see the glass half full right there. Learn to see that glass half full in life. Seriously, man.
Under the Messers, they got out. They said, we're just going to start from scratch.
Oh, you about to say
build our own society, but build it the way that we think it needs to be built.
They're not perfect. They're just people, but they're doing their best. They want to help keep Nyx safe and make it prosper.
They are trying to do the best that they can, but are faced with the realities of dealing with people, which is tricky.
The Pyrostar is quite a warm star. Stanton Star is quite neutral. And the Nyx is a little bit cooler. The system
been unleashed.
has a star, and it has this dark, really dense gas, sort of nebulous cloud. And it has...
He said nebulous cloud. That really interrupts the scanning. I wonder if that also interrupts locking missiles as well. If it's interrupting scanning and locking in on things. So it's more of gritty. You have to, fight with whatever you have, ballistics, energy weapons, etc., as opposed to locking missiles and firing off missiles or torpedoes.
Points of light scattered around it, and those points of light in this gas cloud is really hazy.
Oh, nice.
So because Nyx is bordering Vandal space, it was important that we have a gap in the Nyx gas cloud where you could sort of just, in between the clouds, see a piece of the Vandal space. It feels so close that it's even like protruding some red light.
Ominous.
The level designers are using it as an actual visual indicator of where to place more dangerous POIs. So if you point your ship in the direction of it, you should find, as we build it out, that you will be in more and more danger. And I think that's really cool. To give more atmosphere, I was testing out adding some sort of space snowflakes, essentially. So when you look towards the sun, you can sort of see that sort of like sparkle. But then when you look away from the sun, you'll see the reflections and sort of like little glints of light. For the jump points in Nyx, we'll have two on this release. We'll have one from Pyre to Nyx and one from Stanton to Nyx. It should be going from Nyx to Castra, but we're essentially bypassing Castra temporarily.
Hey, we want to make sure you can get there any way you want.
Leland said, "Don't worry about it. Just
Glacian
get there."
Belt is
we get there
huge
later.
Asteroid belt that is in sort of the middle of the system.
The Glacian Belt is a combination of a bunch of technologies that we already had. The asteroid fields we use for planetary rings and the gas clouds. And it's combining them to make something completely new that we've just not seen before.
And I'm hearing that the asteroids and Nyx are a little more dynamic, so you kind of have to keep your head on a swivel because they're actually moving. And they're saying that there's sharp edges to these asteroids, so that's going to be an interesting dynamic.
It's full of resources that are still left unharvested, because it's kind of a tricky spot for mining. It's not the easiest place to go, but that means that there's still a lot of opportunity for independent miners to go out there.
So the rocks in Nyx are a bit more sharp, like sorts of like icy look, rocky, cliff-like, very different from those in the Pyro and the Stanton.
One of the big differences too is all of that extra added movement that just adds a little bit of extra flair.
See?
It's also a good hiding spot for people who are trying to elude capture, maybe set up ambushes, that type of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
always feel.
That kind of goes back to the original footage with the pirates hiding in the asteroid. They're kind of bringing it full circle again, right?
It's also a good hiding spot for
but it was
people who are trying
Vandal.
to elude capture, maybe set up ambushes, that type of stuff.
But it's a little play on that whole thing because, as they've stated, as you all have seen, you know, let's put a little twist on this. Let's use pirates to do some of the things, right? Full circle. Let's, instead of the Vandal from the original video, you know, they're hiding behind the asteroids. Let's say it's piracy is being a part of it. But we know full well that now it's about Vandal, you know, jumping from that adjacent system and saying, the hell with all of you. I don't care what you're doing. You're dead meat, all of you. You could be whatever, engaged in whatever. So that is going to be an interesting dynamic because whatever you may be thinking of doing, and for whatever reason, it all goes to crap because Vandal are present and they basically said, hey, you're all human, you're all scum to me. But at the same time, here's the very really interesting thing, the intense thing about it is people have this right up to this moment, well, up until the moment of seeing that part where, you know, you saw the Vandal rate and it was escalated up quickly with almost like a capital size ship. So the Perseus isn't safe, the Polaris isn't safe, the Idris isn't safe. In other words, they will be challenged. You know, it's like, try me if you want, you know, hey bro, I got, look, cap ship, don't even try it, I'm here, what? Come at me, bro. Now it's more of, okay, you're taking that ship to Nyx. What's gonna happen? You want the challenge. They will come in and accept that challenge easily. So that's gonna be interesting, but you know, Skyhawk, we didn't get engineering, but I think they were so close to the engineering aspect. But I think they want to add a few more things to that to make it whole. I think what they have is not enough, and I think that's probably why they held it back. But I think it's right around the corner. But here again, I don't know, man. I mean, we have a couple of patches left, right? Don't say that it's not coming at the end of the year until we're in December and they release that last patch for December. We might just get a surprise. Yes. I hear you. Hey man, I'm all about that glass half full, man. I'm about that glass half full, no doubt.
Always feel way more interesting flying in those spaces than just, you know, through empty void.
And as we build out the Glacian build over the next year, lots of places to put new content.
Delamar is a very large asteroid in the Glacian belt that QV Planet Services had built a mining base on that got taken over by the People's Alliance and renamed Levski.
Yep. The landing zone, Levski. Delamar is the asteroid.
Our first and biggest social outpost.
Look at that environment, man. I want to slow mo this, man. I'm telling you. I need to slow mo it. I guess not. But look at the environment. I mean, this is what they're talking about. This is amazing. The lighting. It's totally. It is not Stanton. It is not Pyro. For sure. We know.
For next.
It's kind of like the place where you stop before you do your panning. So it's kind of San Francisco before you go out to the gold rush.
It's going to
Look
be
at
the
the
central
scattering,
hub for
the debris.
trade and hauling and all of the commerce within Nyx and also from Nyx to other systems. But it
I just want to fly it, man, and just look around and just take it all in and just and breathe and just exhale, inhale, exhale, and just like look at this, man. This is a freaking space game. And now it's almost funny to say it's alpha, right? Remember the alpha meme? It's like it's going the way of struts. You kind of want to not say that word anymore, right? You don't want to. It doesn't hold validity anymore when you say, "Oh, this is an alpha," and it's like, people look at you funny now. You're like, "Wait, where you been, dude? Ma'am, where have you been? You've been under a rock." What do you mean? Where are you getting this information from? It's kind of like you don't want to use those words anymore because then you're getting the wrong kind of attention. Not with this. This puts to shame so-called Finnish games. And I'm not hyping anything, man. I can see with my freaking eyes.
Have a CD under
all freaking 4 of them.
Layer to it.
Over the years, you're sort of improving the generation method of those asteroids
The rock DS.
culminate towards this
No, sir.
specific point to make large,
Hello, Coffee.
explorable
Talk to me, man.
location.
Talk to me. Preach.
When you fly towards the Levski, you see this huge gas ring around it. It's scattered small, mid-sized pieces of the asteroids.
Well, Levski is immediately apparently unique by the fact that it's a facility clamped onto the side of an asteroid. The breathtaking views of looking into the belt instantly gives it
Yes.
a unique charm and flavor.
And it's
As
only
you
going to get
approach,
better.
You'll initially see a very dramatic borehole that goes all the way through the asteroid. You will also see growing out from
Look at the
there
carrot.
and alongside Levski, there will be.
Look how large these ships are. New landing pad, mind you. They're open-aired. Holy smokes, man.
landing pads along what I'd call the spine.
Good
Lots
gosh.
of industrial pipes.
Man, this is
And
freaking next
transport
level.
systems to bring out the refined mining material.
This was a surprise. They took the trains or the tram system, right, and said, let's add a visual and functional feature to this and use it to move freight and cargo. Genius. Genius. And you have a freaking Atlas out there walking.
Materials when it was a mining station.
Look at that.
Before we were using an actual planet, so we had all of the space available to place all of these structures. But now it kind of meant that we had to create an asteroid which has the appropriate size to.
If we took the whole shot of the asteroid, you will see that there is an area to fly underneath.
How many people, I'm scratching my head, or I'm wondering, how many people at this moment right now discussing, okay, I need to change my, my spawning point. I want to make this my home. What if your jam, I would say, what if you're, or think about this, you have people that, hey man, I'm adhering to mining. I love mining. Oh, I love salvage. But what about the cargo runners? When you're talking about this is a place where it is a hub that is tailored for hauling things, picking up things, and you have that EVA cargo grid drop off, click, 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 run it down into the freight elevator via EVA, right? Oh, the planets. Oh man, those are like multiple cherries on the top. I mean, like take a jar of maraschino cherries and just dump the whole damn thing on your ice cream. You're like, damn, this is too many cherries on the top. But it's like, yeah, those planets. Speaking of which, Skyhawk, it's got to be Planetary Tech 5, or did they remove that name and it's basically Genesis now? I think that's. Would you say that Planetary Tech 5 is like the working name, but now the official name is Genesis? And the cloud formations. Ooh, okay, let me stop. I'm hyping it too much, man.
We plan on bringing in whole
I'm hyping it too much.
So this is exterior
No, I'm not.
Cargo elevators. So as a team, you will be able to load and unload cargo.
Look how huge that hull is. This is moving cargo, and this looks like, yes, Genesis is Planetary Tech 5. Yep. They took that working name away. So we have it now. And they're going to implement it with Nyx, and then they're going to double back and say for next year, we're going to reshape everything on Genesis now. So, oh my God, look out. This is ridiculous.
Cargo.
There's a lot more movement
my
on the
gosh,
exterior.
what are you saying?
Such as the cargo trains going
Look at
around
this.
tracks. It's now going to be fully EVA-able.
Hello. The dynamic.
There will be walkways around the main landing zone
EVA.
to walk on using gravity plate.
Look, one example, we were in ASD locations. We were using the decon or the decontamination pins for radiation. Now that you have this massive footprint of a location, EVA means no oxygen. Hello, who's going to be buying oxygen pins?
But you can drift off and kind of go wherever you want. They can explore fully the whole
Float,
place,
stab,
which
float,
is great.
stab. Stab, stab, float.
Unlike the majority of anarchists living in Pyro, there are people here in Nyx that care.
Yeah.
It's not a downtrodden or derelict, dilapidated location. It has a sense of order.
But only where the People's Alliance has people living.
But
How
we've had
beautiful.
Nevsky before, and we've updated it quite substantially to be more in line with the newer features that have been put in since, but also visually. And there's been a lot of quality of life fixes that we've wanted to add and bring up to like a good standard for a landing zone.
Gracing the main lobby of Nevsky is a large statue of Anthony Tanaka, who was a child worker.
And was being worked to death, all of them were. And Anthony Tanaka just had a break and just said no, and stood up against the foreman, the supervisors, the managers, the guards, and was killed for it.
Take this
And
job
so he
and shove
became
it.
a sort of a figurehead.
And kind of was one of the linchpin moments in seeing the fall of the Messer regime.
So if you take the elevator up to the top deck, you'll see the top view and the
market
cargo
is back.
area as well. So that you can go through the cargo shop. You've got your normal kind of cargo needs. You'll have ability to trade and buy your tractor beam and other gear that you need. So if you were to die in the Nyx system, then one of the places you might come out from is the hospital in Nevsky, which is called the Mercy Hospital.
Look at that.
So Mercy Hospital is just basically, it's a local med station for all the residents of Levski, anybody traveling through the system. Again, they're trying to provide as good medical help for people as they can.
When you arrive at the Habs location, you'll be presented with a lobby, elevator bank, and then you will take that transit to the hab room. So within that room will be pods.
And that's where the original miners would have lived. They're not the nicest, and they're a bit messy, but they're a home.
It's not Pyro.
If you head down to the lower view deck, you'll go through into the Grand Barter, which is your main social and commercial area of Levski.
This is where you will see market sellers selling their wares. There will be stalls, there will be kind of more embedded shops.
And that includes things like Corderies, which is your armor shop, and also Conscientious Objects, which is for weapons. There's also one of my favorite places, Cafe Musée, which is where you can go down into some of the more rocky depths and grab yourself a drink, and you never know who you meet down there.
Oh, mission givers, hello.
If you explore a bit more around the Grand Barter, there's other routes around and little side passages. There's another shop that's away from that area called Teachers.
Teach's Ship Shop is basically where you would go if you were looking to pick up a used ship, buy some ship parts, fix up your old ship, find some new stuff, sell some scrap.
We've closed up Dumpers Depot for Levski, and everything that used to be sold there will now be sold at Teachers. Another new area, as well as the cargo shop that we've added, is a refinery deck for Levski. That's where you can take your processed goods, not just from Levski, but from the rest of the Nyx system, and refine and sell those goods there.
Oh, wow.
As a lot of the content in the next coming releases for Nyx is going to be mining related. So it's super important that Levski is a really nice hub for mining type of gameplay.
Could you say next year we may be talking about, or on the roadmap, we may be looking at the Arastra? Or the Orion, or both? I don't know, but seeming that we're talking about large deposits, and they kind of went with, you know, years ago, Tony Zurek called it mining veins. This is a total opposite. As you all know, these larger deposits that are in Levski, it's not mining veins, but holy crap, it's mining on high volume. I suspect that this opens the door for the Arastra, as well as maybe the Expanse, because maybe the Expanse can kind of like, okay, let's offload it to the Expanse and do the refining as you jump to another system, or, you know, especially with Vandal raids. But I'm gonna watch next year's roadmap, because I got a funny suspicion that they want to push mining even further due to, you know, the resource that they opened up with mining and Levski, the system now.
So we're really happy to bring Levski back into the game. It's been gone for quite a few years now.
I think it really provided a unique environment of, it's run down, but the people who live there love it and are working their hardest to make it a great place to live.
This is a location that has a lot of nostalgia for you guys, and we don't want this just to be a re-release. We do want you to go, wow.
It's not going to be as complete as Pyro was when it first came out, but it's going to be our first iteration, and you're going to be able to see it grow as we work on it.
Like with everything, we're always learning and improving and finding new ways.
I mean, is there anything more Star Citizen than just building the system while the players watch us build it around them?
It's going to add a nice dynamic to Stanton and be a much more calming of, you know, style system than Pyro.
The people that would have played it before are going to love to see this come back, and the people that haven't seen it before, it's going to be a great new location.
This is the first time that I'm going to be able to touch stuff and kind of bring my own content to the game, and that's really exciting to me.
Levski coming back into the game is a huge milestone personally for me. So I worked on the original quite some time ago, so seeing it come back and updated and improved and better is fantastic.
Wow. That's That's most welcome. That is most welcome. Another system, man. It's the beginning of the economy.
So we've talked about Levski, we've talked about the Glacian Belt, but you're probably asking yourself, what's the new gameplay activity we're going to be doing? So let's find out.
Welcome to Nyx is your first experience in a new space station in a new solar system.
It's a mystery to be solved. There's things for the player to explore and look into. There's going to be some twists and turns, of course, some combat, and if you're lucky enough to survive, maybe some good rewards.
This is basically a continuation of kind of our ASD storyline. So in the closing out what we had called our Science Run Amok storyline, we had revealed that ASD had been procuring sort of very black market illegal stuff in order to conduct their experiments.
Good gosh.
So this mission is basically going to be continuing on that trail.
So the Navy has learned that illegal tech is being sold in the UAE, and they're hiring Intersect to investigate. Intersect Defense Solutions is the leading military defense contractor in the UAE. The Navy contracts with them a lot for doing various kind of military operations that they don't want to handle themselves. We didn't want players to be working directly for the Navy. The Navy just doesn't call up random citizens and ask like, hey, if you're free, can you fly a helicopter? I guess as a player, when you can think about like, oh, where am I going to be doing missions that are capital ship battles or large fleet scale stuff or military operations, that's all going to come from Intersect Defense Solutions. Intersect have discovered the source of the illegal tech is in the Nyx system and an old abandoned QV Planet Services logistics station that's come back online.
So they want the players to figure out what's going on.
So when you come out of Quantum and you start your approach vector to the objective, you'll be weaving through asteroids, going through the Glacian Belt, and slowly the station will reveal itself. Now this is an old QV logistics station. It's pretty beat up, it's pretty derelict. There's some points of interest that you'll spot as you go through.
What didn't you like?
So the station itself shares design cues from old Pan Am stations found in Pyro. This architectural design found its way over to the Nyx system as the system was being established. But you'll also see some additional design cues that QV Planetary Services were adding. So it's a nice transition architectural point. It's fairly skeletal in design. You'll see logistics yards and cargo yards, but also facilities pinned inside the asteroid, creating this network of facilities. You'll notice there's a Polaris near the main hub. It's not a normal Polaris. It's damaged, it's broken. It's not a standard corporate Polaris. So at this point, you should be asking yourself, who does this belong to?
Yeah.
Away from the Polaris, you'll see struts leading to asteroid bases. Now these asteroid bases are locked, so you don't know exactly what's inside just yet. But all of this comes together to form the playground for the mission to take place.
Oh boy.
So not only is this facility unabandoned, but it's also under attack from a surprising but familiar foe.
Oh gosh. People lost it right there in this moment right here. They lost it. They lost it. It was amazing though, man. It was just
for the first time in the PU.
It was a huge turnout.
The Vandal.
Huge turnout. Yes. Oh, people lost it.
So the Vandal are a nomadic, very, very, very violent spacefaring race.
They've been striking out against outposts and such in the Nyx system. They don't really know what they want, don't know why they're doing it, but it seems like whoever's running the station is really pissed them off.
Vandal raiding parties have been rioting in the system, and they're unaffiliated to any clan. There's small groups coming in and picking at them. But as time goes on, those raids have getting bigger and more frequent.
There'll be the scythes that you're familiar with, glaives and blades that we all know and hate.
Oh, wow.
And a new craft for the PU, the Vandal Stinger.
Oh, wow. stinger.
You'll be contacted by some civilians on arrival asking you for help.
So at this point, you have a choice. You can either bug out, mission over, or join the fight.
Oh man, what?
This will be the first time since the PU launch that you'll be able to fight against Vanduul aggressor ships.
This fight will be intense. The player should be able to deal with them, but they will have to be prepared and they'll have to come back in to fight off this initial wave, and that won't be the end of it.
After you fight off the Vanduul ships, the mysterious inhabitants of the station invite you to come on board.
Which Insect sort of will encourage you to do because it'll help further their
end of year.
investigation
It's
against
still coming.
what's happening here, why these
More
QB
patches.
stations have come back online.
You dock your ship, you
Seriously,
board the
in
station,
the game, yep.
and it turns out the inhabitants here have a real surprise for you.
Good gosh, man.
The player will be immediately ambushed. These guys are not your friends.
Of course, it's not going to be
Insane.
easy because the people that are inhabiting the station are going to fight you every step of the way.
The fight will be challenging, but this definitely will be the warm-up phase of this mission. This will be the players getting a sense of what exactly is going on here, who these new people are. They'll be in unfamiliar armor. They will be wielding unfamiliar weapons. And we want you to get a sense that you are in a new place, in a new territory, fighting a new faction.
And
so after you survive this initial ambush, you get back in touch with Intersect, and obviously the question is, who are these people? Why are they attacking? Why are the Vanduul attacking them?
At this point, there's more going on here than anyone thought.
Our citizen
the
strong.
directive from Intersect is
Our
to
citizen
explore
community
the
strong.
station and collect as much information as you possibly can.
Along the way, you're going to get to explore some new areas.
It's not just the space station. There's the disabled capital ship. There's asteroid bases nearby with obvious installations there, other forces that the Vanduul have been attacking. There's a debris field.
Explore the locations in any order you want and try to find out who these people are and why the Vanduul are after them.
You'll find new clues.
Wow.
You'll find ways to solve the puzzle of what's going on at the space station and find out what kind of loot they have for you now that you've beat them.
And of course, this is a legally open station, so anything you find is yours to keep and
Elliot.
sell, maybe even give to Wicklow.
Uh-oh. Elliot.
This isn't just a one-time event. This is a permanent sort of mission that we're going to be adding to the game. You can go back and repeat this mission.
Genesis.
And find ways to do it even better, even faster.
Oh,
There'll be a
Blackwater
different
Goat.
story and different flavor. Obviously, we can't have the same thing happen every time. There'll be other missions that Intersect will offer to you based on the evidence that you found.
Now you know the real story, and you can start digging and giving more information to Intersect along the way.
Investigation. Woo.
I'm super excited to finally see
I'm
the
gonna keep
Vanduul
saying
in the
Genesis.
PU.
I'm excited to bring cool Vanduul ship combat to SC.
Players in the PU will now get to face down these awesome ships and get a taste of like we already have it in Arena Commander, where you get to fight the Vanduul swarm, and being able to do that in the PU is going to be, I think, a heck of a lot of fun.
I mean, Genesis.
This marks a great milestone
Nyx.
for us for not only pushing hard and
Missions.
adding great content this year, we're also being able to introduce the next star system and introducing the next landscape to tell new stories and add new gameplay beats into the ever-expanding universe. So we'll leave 4.4 there. If you're at one of the watch parties, please raise a toast to the great work that all the teams have been doing this year. And I'll be right back in just...
I know what you mean when you say unbelievable. It was so clean. It was, the things that was very noticeable was the cloud formations. And I'm like, good gosh. And they're holding it to just Nyx for now, but it unfolds and it's being delivered to 2026, the entirety of the game. Pyro, Stanton, Genesis is going to go and reshape, but I suspect, I suspect that they're also reimagining these locations too with Genesis. If it just goes Genesis and then they have to go in and rescape, maybe add interiors, I don't know. But I'm very curious. I'm very curious about that. But it's really cool to know that we're going to get a small sample size of what Genesis is, and they're going to actually dump a lot of those features onto Nyx, the system. And then we'll sit back and say, whoa, now that announcement with the terraforming and them going back to reattempt to terraform and actually bring correction to Microtech. That's going to be interesting. Very interesting.
Just a few minutes to look ahead at some of the things coming in 2026.
Yes, Skyhawk, the tools are there.
Hello, everyone.
The tools are there.
And welcome to the Voyager Bar in beautiful scenic Orizon, where the staff of Cloud Imperium Games Manchester is gathered for their very own CitizenCon Direct watch party.
I know, Todd, that was insane. That was insane. And then, you know, they've always stated in the beginning up to now, the tools, what are these tools? The library, the assets. And now, to Skyhawk's point, that time period heads down. And now the fruits of their labor are starting to, come to the forefront now. 07 Todd, thank you, man. And it's just hard work, man. And it's just, literally, it's just hard work. No, that's CIG's job. Did you see those ships? It's their job.
As the dozens of such events happen,
they're gonna burn that card. They're gonna burn that card.
Today to watch this sneak peek at just a little of what the next year of Star Citizen has in store for everyone. Oh, that was really good, everybody. I'm Jared Huckabee, your host.
That dude hair is like, what the heck? What does he do to his hair? That hair is. I'm looking. I'm like, ain't a damn thing out of place with his hair. Are you freaking kidding me right now? I'm like, dude's hair is like, it doesn't even look real. It is AI. That was hilarious, though. He was beside himself earlier today. That was freaking hilarious. I mean, he is the king of improv. Jared is he could give a master class on improv. Hands down. It's not real. But man, dude, I was sitting in there laughing, but no, seriously, a lot of the devs, man, that was in the chair, dude. Oh, they get their shit done in the salon, man. I was looking like, damn. I was like, those dudes went to the salon, man. I'm not mad at them. I am not mad at them, man. I'm like, shoot, man. If you got it, work it, man. Yeah, well, Todd, I don't know, man. It's like, in-person SitCon Austin. It's not real.
For the festivities and for the show today, and let me tell you, it's not a joke, it's not a gag. Next week, we're hitting our 9th patch in 10 months, and then in November, we're going to finish out the year strong with the long-awaited arrival of the Nyx system. And in case you missed it, because you were chatting with friends, hi. It's not the lawless wasteland of Pyro many folks have been speculating, but an independent system with its own set of rules and laws and multiple ways to get there.
Did he just say that November is the last patch for the year? Are they gonna? Is it saying that they want to give the devs a true break for the holiday? I'm okay with that. Didn't he just say that the last patch will be in November? Yeah, I'm okay with that. They need to take a break. And the pace that they were, the frequency, the cadence, it was, I mean, it was rapid, man. It was rapid. And I'm like, we can't become that micromanager and say, hey, we got, December, what are you going to, hey, pay them extra, work some overtime. No, go home, devs. Talk to your families. You haven't been home in a while. Watch some movies. Take a nap. Damn, get some snacks. Lay back. Don't work. Don't come to freaking work. I don't want to know that you're freaking in the studios.
It's an exciting time for everyone at Cloud Imperium Games because, as the architects of our persistent universe said at the start of the show, the foundational tech that we've been building for so many years has now unlocked us to bring more to.
This is truly, I mentioned this, but some of us know. Some of us don't get it, right? But some of us truly know that there were a series of events for CIG that allowed them to procure and take ownership and have their own engine. And we have, some of us have this opinion about, oh, you need to go to this engine. You need to utilize that engine. Move everything over to this engine. You're going to be better off. No. No. We see now, as I said, those series of events that happened, that took place, was necessary. It couldn't have been written or scripted out any better. Like, it was fate. It was meant. The dominoes fell, and they were falling in line, man, for CIG. They have the Star Engine. They are able to create whatever is needed to make Star Citizen the game that much more immersive, that much more unique in comparison to any other game out there. I don't care if it's a GTA comparison, RPG comparison, or a space game to a space game comparison. Doesn't matter. It makes it so unique because they're able to create things within the scope of the engine, and them working together to bring on these new features, but then not just bring them on, but transform them or bring them into up to a level of maturation. There's no other. You got to go to, in order to get something changed in Unreal, you got to call them up, email them, and get permission, and then they'll deal with you. They'll deal with you then. Or you got to make a request. But knowing that this is their engine, this is that engine, man. Other game companies are like, hell, man. I'd do business with you. You can lease it to me. They're not going to lease nothing, man, until they really, really, at the end of the day, pull the full potential out. And even then, they might not even do that. Why should they? Why would they? Other games don't. Does GTA lease out their engine? I don't know, man. I think it's just, hey, you gotta roll up your sleeves. Any other development company, they better roll up their sleeves and do it on their own. I think hard lessons were learned over the years when they were working in conjunction with other development studios or companies, and they were supposed to get the support, and they actually supported themselves, but yet when they created and developed the tools, then the support system who was supposed to support them saying, hey, I need those tools because under contract I'm supposed to support you, but hell, support me with those new tools. It's like, wait a minute. But long story short, man, they have their own engine. They can reiterate, they can create, they can bring it to the forefront. They can whatever the case, they can create the game of our dreams, their dreams, and keep it moving, man.
Star Citizen than ever before as we continue our journey towards 1.0. Now, before we continue with the show, let's get a few housekeeping tasks out of the way. First, we're simulcast on YouTube and Twitch. So if you want the keen communities of Twitch or the 4K ultra high resolution of YouTube, you have your choice. Second, throughout the broadcast today, we want to see and hear what you have to say along the way, and you can tell us on social media by using hashtag CitizenGone. We're especially interested to see any photos from those watch parties that are happening across the globe, and we're going to find some way to bring a few of them into the broadcast later in the program. Third, we've also had a CitizenCon contest going for people to create their very own slice of life in the PU videos, and we played the winning entries during our pre-show countdown. The offerings were super varied. The idea was to work with a team to show the life of a miner or a hauler or a bounty hunter or whatever. But one guy just said, I'm gonna make a video about how awesome I am. And I respect that. So shout out Nocturnal Revenant. I don't remember if you were one of the winners getting an
07 Jarrett did an excellent job tonight. Breaking new ground. And I think, the 2 hours, they showed enough content and features, man.
We believe art inspires the best technology. And through the development of that technology, it pushes us to create even better art. When Genesis comes to the persistent universe starting next year, it will change how you experience every
man.
world.
Preach.
And not just in the building of the new planets for the Nyx system. We will
the
also
Christ
go back
Roberts
through
gospel.
Phantom and Pyro and
Man,
reimagine them through the lens of our technology. Previously, and more traditionally, we'd create slices of biomes, like deserts or forests. This approach moved us forwards and got us this far, but solving the scale was always tricky. And for Star Citizen, we like to do scale on another level. Issues like seeing tiling from our height maps from high altitude, or the unpredictable blending when two biomes connected were common. But ultimately, things just never felt right. Our worlds were gorgeous, but to us, they still sometimes felt like interpretations. Now, this was a super hard problem, which we needed to solve at the scale for Star Citizen requires. We challenged ourselves to emulate nature in the most believable way, and not just on a planetary scale, but to our level of detail.
Wow. Those cloud formations. You know what I'm talking about, chat. You've seen it. Next year, Skyhawk is saying, next year when we see the rest of Nyx, the rework of Microtech, Hurston, and the 2 new star systems, it will also be adding by the end of 2026. Yeah, you heard what I said. Oh my gosh. Stop it, man. Stop it. I mean, 1.0. I mean, it's, some of us was, and it's okay. I mean, I think it was precautionary or cautionary because I get it. People want to be optimistic, but they want to hold off. It's like, I don't want to, look foolish or get my hopes up or be disappointed or get someone else's hopes up, right? But now the way that they're moving, and we were talking about 1.0, 28, 29, we were really pushing out those years. Now, when you're talking about where we are in regards to getting 1.0 as a completed metric or completed goal, it's much closer than we think now, right? Because we're talking about, if you look at Nyx next month, now when you take the framework of Nyx, you look at Castra, you look at the footprint, and you see the number of planets, the number of moons, and they're like almost identical in literal footprint. Now you're framing the Genesis system. Now Castra can be, wow. It's not out of the question to say, can it be first quarter or second quarter? Not out of the question. Terra has always been a layout or a blueprint of what they want to do. You know, Terra. That completes the whole system, the 5 points or the systems that are the 5 systems of 1.0. But I would say for Terra, I think they really want to put a lot into Terra because it is the flagship location. It's the center of the universe in Chris's story. Yeah, I mean these systems, Skyhawk. It's just now we're seeing the power of the Genesis system. We're looking at things and those. Oh man, this is one of the things that really pulled me in with Genesis, the cloud tech. But look at this, man.
With Genesis, we've made a complete paradigm shift to how we do things.
Look at the
biomes are now.
Look at the water. It's reflecting back light. Man, oh my goodness. Give now. Nope, when it's ready.
Created based on the
I'm messing
physical
with you, Ty.
data sets.
I agree, man.
With the
GIB.
assets being spawned whenever and wherever the correct criteria is found.
Mount, look at that.
So when you see a forest or a meadow, it's no longer because an artist painstakingly crafted it there.
But what is that going to look like when you place? I think this changes the whole narrative of base building because when I look at Genesis and I looked at the framework or the early stages of what base building was like, it has to change. It has to mature. If not, it would look like a photograph to a cartoon. Think about it. It has not progressed to the level of what we're seeing with Genesis. I'm just being honest, and I'm sure you're all agreeing with me. If you're not, it's just you're saying just give me the damn thing and I'll play it. It does not fit. The state of base building that we saw a year or two ago it does not fit. It's not on the level of this. I'm sorry. And I'm thinking now that that's probably why we're not seeing or nothing was mentioned in regards to base building, because this is taking a huge evolutionary leap forward in comparison to what we saw with base building. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I'm just speaking my mind. Oh yeah, Castra, definitely Skyhawk. That was my point with Castra. Was the thing that stood out was we didn't really see mountains where that visual clue was the fact that mountains and clouds needed to get a hotel room because they were definitely making out.
It's now because it simply wants to be there. It fits inside our rules. Genesis also ties into our other gameplay systems. Our new planets are built from the information we create for our different data sets.
This is just too damn much, man. I mean, this is a freaking time sink of just watching yourself, hanging out with you all, and just, man, this is a problem. This is a problem for me. This is a problem for you all too. You don't realize it. This is a problem. This is a freaking time sink.
Maps, humidity, temperature, soil type, soil amounts, geology,
Hello?
erosion data, to name but a few.
Anyone canyon run? Oh my gosh.
This means you can now tell where to find valuable minerals as the geology looks like it would be suitable for it. Where scree piles exist below sheer cliff faces, and where rocks have broken off over time due to erosion.
Oh wow.
Of course, these new...
That right there? That's right there? Totally alien in nature. What the hell is that? What the hell is that, man?
Tools
We're gonna
still
find
give
out
us
next
the
month.
ability to direct
And it's
the
raining.
look and feel we want.
It's raining there.
The attention to detail from the tallest mountain to the smallest flower is still our core.
Whatever it is, it's so alien in nature. So alien in nature.
Or DNA. With Genesis, we can now keep that detail-orientated mindset.
This. Man. Genesis slay.
As we focus
Genesis
on the
slay,
quality,
man.
and it provides
my
the
gosh.
quantity. Genesis provides our planets with the ultimate sense of exploration and adventure, discovery in the purest emotional form. We want you to find that perfect place, with the planets providing an abundant
yes.
resource to harvest. This is a major part of what exploration is for
Fishing
us.
poles.
We want that feeling of finding a corner of the universe that you'll fall in love with, and where you want to settle down and build your home.
I think, you know what, next year, you said boats, Skyhawk. I think creatures will start to bring themselves into the fold in this. Running into these, whatever these creatures may be.
Now I'm going to hand you over to Will to go deeper into what we have built that allows Genesis to realize our vision. As a reminder, some of the visuals you'll see will evolve and change as we continue our technological development and hone in on the final look for Nyx.
Man, you got me. It's a time sink.
Thanks, Ian.
It's a problem.
So,
That's
in
what
case
it.
it's not already clear.
It's a problem. That's what it is. It's a problem.
Genesis is our name for a group of
Man,
technologies.
I am not mad at these guys, man. The hair game is amazing. These devs' hair game is amazing.
That are improving our ability to build worlds, refining those that we've already created,
Dude,
and
did you
ultimately
see
expanding our persistent
Senior
universe to the scale
Engineer?
and quality that
Hold
Corner of the
on.
universe that
Senior
you'll fall in love with,
Engineer?
and where you want
Dude
will
is
evolve
moving.
and change as we continue our technological development and hone in on the final look for Nyx.
Thanks, Ian. So, in case it's not already clear, Genesis is our name for a group of technologies that are.
Will Haynes, Senior Engineer. Dude, hold on. Senior Engine Programmer. It's like I said. Oh, you better. Oh, hell yeah. It's like I was saying earlier. There was a point where they were hired. They came on board. And all they said was, oh, river guy. And say, okay, well, okay, I'll be the river guy. No, I'm not the freaking river guy. I'm the senior engine programmer. Joke's on you. Joke's on me. Senior engine programmer. What I'm seeing is, man, what we're witnessing and what we have to take notice is the fact they come in, they sit down, they learn, they absorb it, they realize this is my passion. This is what I love to do, right? if it's something that you really love to do, you're going to freaking excel at it. No matter how challenging it is or whatever the outside noise is, if it's your passion, it's just your passion. And that's a witness to that. Hold on, let me get the hell out of the way. I'm in the way. Senior engine programmer. Yeah, right there. River Guy, no. Senior engine programmer, Will Hain. Hello. I love this, man. I love seeing this because this is about seeing someone in their element, learning, growing, maturing. And again, I said this to Chris in 2018. I said, Chris, you're a freaking whiz kid back in the days of Wing Commander. And look at you now, fast forward, you're developing Star Citizen. But you went from game programmer, now you're a mentor to a new generation of developers. Period.
Improving our ability to build worlds, refining those that we've already created, and ultimately expanding our persistent universe to the scale and quality that we all expect. I work on Planet Tech, so let's talk about how
wait a minute.
continued.
Hold on. Did you see that? You see that? Wait a minute. Tell him, Will. I work on Planet Tech. I'm not no freaking River Guy. I work on Planet Tech. Watch this.
Scale and quality that we all expect. I work on Planet Tech, so let's talk about how that's continued to evolve since our presentation last year.
Get it right.
And instead of just highlighting some really cool biomes that we can create, let's go ahead and show how all this work applies to the upcoming planets
Preach,
of Nyx.
Tar. Preach.
So there are 3 planets in Nyx. Nyx 3 is a gas...
Here's the thing, man. I don't want to dwell on the negative, but it's going to be a hard sell for people to nitpick the progression of what we're seeing. It's going to be so hard to be salty. Good luck with that. And it's okay, man. I mean, if there's a point that you need to make, I respect your opinion because you're speaking your mind, but dude, I'm going to be looking at you side-eyed like, what? You gotta come stronger with your opinions now because it's got to make sense. It's tougher now. It's going to be harder for you.
Giant, and I think it's blue. It's not going to surface. I don't really know. Nyx 2 is a yellow, toxic. It's got like this high pressure atmosphere, and it's like a very volatile planet with high risk reward gameplay. It's going to have some really interesting biomes for you to discover, but for now, just know it's going to be dangerous because today we're going to focus on what we consider to be the hero planet of this system. Nyx 1 has got a rugged, remote beauty. It's got a diverse set of biomes, from weathered rocky mountain ranges to vast sweeping forests and grasslands, and from damp, expansive wetlands to claustrophobic, festering swamps. These core
That's insane.
biome concepts give us a fantastic platform to hone our technology. In some cases, because the current tech couldn't do them at all, or because we want to completely step up our game for them. So, let's approach this planet in much the same way that you, the player, will, from orbit. The orbit appearance of the planets going forward is far more tied to what is present on the surface.
Yeah.
Previously, we had different data that drove the orbital and ground coloring. That's because the orbit was designed to look like vegetation that we'd place on the surface, and the ground coloring was trying to be a mix of soil, rock, and the organic compound coloring that forms the kind of colors there.
Man, next level.
Now we author much more of the data in a
I was thinking that,
unified
Sky.
way.
I was
When
thinking
you look
that.
at
You
Earth,
texted
you see
that.
blues and greens for ocean and vegetation, and brown or yellowy tones for sand and soil. We wanted to keep it as simple as that. The same set of textures and data.
Okay, wait a minute, Todd. So Nyx is next month, right? So something to ponder. Nyx 1 is built on Genesis technology, correct? But we aren't getting the new planet. We aren't getting the new Genesis system for the entire system until next year. But we're getting, what is this Nyx next year? What's Nyx next year? So what are we getting next month? We're getting Nyx, the system. But not all the planets? Is that the case, Skyhawk? Not all the planets? Mad Style, where have you been? 07, sir. Mad Style's like, I've heard, I know I'm back for a reason. What the hell you think, Kimmy? You think I'm watching, I'm keeping my eyes on things. I'm gonna show up. I've been watching. Mad Style said, you ain't gonna leave me behind. I'm gonna give me some of that. 07, sir. It's been a minute. Welcome back. Well, that's a great question, though, Ty. But we gotta hold on. Let's fact check, because I'm under the impression that we're getting Nyx because it's 3 planets, 2 to 3 planets total, right? All right, let's fact check. Chat, because that's a great question. Let me see. Let me dig deep here. Dig a little bit. Let's get verification on this. Oh, the goodies pack has been revealed too. Let's see here. Oh, they say, well, meshing has gone up to 700 players. Okay, Nyx in November with 4.4, right? Unlike Pyro, Nyx is not delivered all at once. It will be introduced through a rollout of patches throughout this year and next. There we go. It will be connected by a direct jump point to both Stanton and Pyro, and is not entirely lawless as previously described. Once Castra is implemented, the Stanton Nyx jump point will be retired, as this is a bypass. So it's almost like the Pathfinder dynamic jump points. As a follow-on from the ASD storyline, players will contract with Intersect, the leading private contractor in the UEE. A large repeatable mission chain brings players into Nyx to visit the source of ASD's smuggled technology. Nyx also includes the return of Vandal to the PU, not seen since 2.0. These are unaffiliated with clans and violently rioting through the system. Vandal space can be seen as a red cloud. Fly towards it for more dangerous points of interest. This also includes the introduction of the Stinger heavy fighter to the Vandal ships in Star Citizen. So Nyx 1 will be the first Genesis, which is Planetary Tech 5 planet, the most diverse planet yet seen. Nyx 1. Genesis will be rolled out to Stanton and Pyro over the future as well. Genesis achieves many things, including GPU scattering, many biomes, including swamps and full meadow grass, and much more realistic terrain. It is the true achievement of the vision of procedural planets. Man, that word, procedural planets. Hello, Elite. Procedural planets. Nyx will also include the first intersystem missions. This will at first be cargo missions, which could also include scripted encounters or tight deadlines. Nyx also has a new sandbox activity coming with Rockcracker, similar to Hathor and Open Space. Ships with JC, Anvil Paladin, Asperia Stinger, which is the Vandal Heavy Fighter replica, and Gray's Shiv. the shivs. No silhouettes, no Perseus. Wait for IAE. Weapons, new rocket launcher, LMG, and Space AK. AK-47, the Space AK, incoming, all of which are very roughly assembled. Binoculars are coming. Those won't produce light, have light amplification, and up to 10 times zoom to help with a spotter roll. Sounds like Bender over right there. Crafting will be on tech preview by end of year. Tech preview. Here we go. The first iteration will be focused on FPS weapons and armor. These will be better than any version you can buy in a shop with tunable stats for your needs. The tech preview will help familiarize us with the new material quality system crafting user interface as well as the system. This will also include major changes to inventory, including visual updates. However, it will not include the new refining system, which is due for a later release. Item fabricators can be purchased in store and placed in your hangar or aboard your ship. Size appears to be a fairly it's fairly a large box, so it should fit a variety of multi-crewed ships. Blueprints will be primarily obtained from missions, but all players will have a small number of blueprints to test with. Upgrade and research will come at a subsequent release. Then there's Instancing, which is 2026. Siege of Orison is coming back, Ty. Ty loved himself some Siege of Orison. It was fun. It's coming back. So can you imagine? It will support 15 to 20 people. A modern WoW raid in size. Instancing tech will also come to Stanton and Pyro in the future. The Municipal Works Instance Dungeon announced that CC24 has been moved from Area 18 to Levski. So I was calling that out at the event, and I was thrown off. I'm like, where is Area 18? So it makes sense. Why not do that? Because it hinders, because they have to bring all the legacy systems up to standard. So it makes sense to move it over to Levski, right? So that's pretty cool, man. This is a 3-chapter mission where you and your team must restore life support deep in Levski by removing outlaws and repairing. Your progress is saved as you go deeper. Richard Tyler 1.0. Last year's presentation hasn't changed. It's still the plan. They are still working busily towards it, and each patch has moved us towards it. This is because they are adding permanent story-driven content like Onyx, as opposed to transient time-limited events like Xenothreat. Also, voice missions, content, and facial animation. The story is integral to Star Citizen to have a journey. They prefer a regular cadence of drops to the old system of large potential delays between patches. This includes doing things like removing the Apex Valor from Hathor, which didn't meet the quality bar they wanted. Oh, wow. Features are being worked on heavily in the background. Apex Valor, FPS radar and scanning, crafting, engineering, etc. Richard Tyler hoped they would have released more features, but stands by the decisions of making live as stable as possible. I respect the hell out of that, and as you should too, chat. They want to introduce physical mission givers, starting with Battaglia and Nyx. Eventually, all mission givers, they will return. Their long-term goal is full cinematics in Star Citizen, previously mentioned as leveraging Squadron 42 tech. Man, a focus on dynamic content will come after instancing is running. This is similar to Quanta, now Star Sim, produced from the actions of players. Yeah, this, man, they are, boy. See his closing statement. I skipped a lot. Not everything for 2026 has been shown, with many features including final polish from Squadron 42 coming. Next year will be the most exciting yet for Star Citizen. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, let's get it on. Let's get it on. Forgot about ArcCorp 2.0. Yes, I think with Genesis, the first iteration, which is Nyx, they said that's for 2026.
That
so
define the color of the soil.
we're going to be going back there.
Ground are used to create the orbital look. We then assess the presence of vegetation and competition between different species on each part of the planet and use that to blend in tones of green, including variations due to species health and the current season. This creates a far more complete image.
Yeah.
And allows you to identify features, geologies, and potential points of interest all the way from space.
I see you, Tal.
Let's go down to the surface and start with something closer to what you're used to, but in a whole new light.
This is just, I mean, you can just fly around and just look at things,
When we
man.
approached the surface of the planet, we wanted to start by focusing on
Those
just the
clouds.
soil and rock. One of the things that was missing from our terrain previously was simply feature complexity. Looking at our contemporaries, we lacked detail at the ground scale. To combat this, we've added a new layer of data. That layer is called the medium tiles. These are intelligently placed on top of the
Softens
existing
it.
4-kilometer terrain tiles based on slope, soil type, and other erosion data. And these medium tiles don't just create height changes, they also bring in local erosion data both for soil and bedrock size values. And this gives us a whole new level of terrain detail,
beautiful.
of scale, and allows us to create far more unique locations across the planet.
Dude, this is
So now that we've
just
nailed the surface, let's have a look at adding some rocks.
insane.
We've now got two major contributors to the rock content of our planets. Firstly, long desired feature, cliffs. We are adding large scale, very detailed to all our cliffs based on the geology at a given location. This adds an exciting new dimension to steep slopes that we simply couldn't get before. The second is a big one for you ground vehicle enthusiasts. Rocks are now found not scattered everywhere, like spilled popcorn at the cinema, but only in places you'd expect to find them, thanks to a brand new rock scattering algorithm that isn't annoying as hell. Using physical data generated for each large and medium tile, now rock distribution makes sense and has a physical
Skyhawk.
basis. So if you're still crashing into them after this comes out, that's on you.
People were laughing when he said that.
The
He's
rock
got a
assets
point.
themselves have had a glow up too. We now create rock sets related to a particular geology that look like they originated from the same source. And this ties into how we'll be distributing minables in much more interesting ways too.
Oh, look at the DS, the rock. Hello, Twix. This is for you.
So now that our base terrain and rock scattering looks good, let's add some vegetations and explore some additional biomes.
Man.
Next
Ooh,
one's forests
Atlas.
and grasslands are full of trees, various grass species, rock formations.
It's like
And
Austin.
they're found in all sorts of elevations, like mountain
was
valleys,
Austin.
open plains, and dense meadows.
Oh my gosh.
And when we start to add a bit of fresh
That-
water, they begin transitioning.
Man, that right there. That is just. Oh, wait a minute. Where the hell am I? That, y'all, is just the beginning. That right there is just the beginning.
Into more wetland type biomes. And while forests are super cool, let's focus on the grasslands and wetlands today. So, how are we making these look so great? Obviously, we've had grass before, but never meadows of it. Because until now, we haven't been able to spawn grass in large enough quantities or effectively
Well, we have
representative
Vulcan.
distance. So we're stepping up our game in terms of spawning, shaping, and shading grass. With Genesis, we now leverage GPU spawning to create vast quantities of assets across all biomes, whether it be dense.
I've been, Planetary Tech, I've been man, I've been wanting this for so long, and it would be interesting, you know, for the next Star Citizen, Inside Star Citizen, to have some details into what Genesis is, what does it affect, what has it updated. Obviously, we see it, but will we get the rolling clouds? Will we get rain? Does it touch rain? What is all involved in the Genesis system itself in regards to what it interacts with based on its library set? You know, because now we're saying procedurally, you select or you give a criteria of what that location is or planet is, and then let the Genesis system do its thing. I would love to see and hear more in depth with Inside Star Citizen. This is going to be a great segue for Jared's going to have a lot to do in regards to, let's talk about the CitizenCon Direct. Let's bring up these features that's, you know, well, hell, man, it's next month, right? So, yeah, it would be great to hear from him in the next couple of weeks. To know, we literally, we got, what, 3 weeks left? Because it's like we're third through, or, you know, 3 weeks left for October. So it would be great to hear some things and what the status is prior to that release with 4.4.
Meadows or more complex collections of ground cover like you can see in
Oh
these
my God.
wetlands.
I'm sorry, man. I just got to stop it and say, damn, I could live here. As long as the Normandy isn't part of this. But yeah, I could live here. Nope.
We
I
are
see the
also
freaking
able
Normandy.
to fit our
Nope.
grass tiles to the ground by conforming them to the unique terrain underneath. Now we can finally cover complex terrain shapes with grass and ground cover assets, and as a result, they are now gravity aligned, meaning
I feel my freaking allergies acting up. I'm looking at this freaking stuff growing. Freaking allergies freaking acting up.
each blade is oriented as you'd expect and not sticking out like before.
Good gosh. People just going about their business,
Let's take
man.
a look at how we light our grass.
Like,
Now,
I mean,
as in real life, the
seriously.
shading of a grass blade, or indeed a whole field of grass,
You damn
is lit
right.
very differently to like a flat surface. We now use a solution that shades meadows of grass
Nose
far
itching.
more like fur or hair. And this, if you think about it, makes sense.
Seasons.
At a distance, a field of grass is far more
Seasons.
like carpet or cloth than a flat.
You know, I'm so glad you brought that up, Skyhawk. Seasons. I think that's going to be the next natural progression for it with Genesis. The seasonal changes. Right now, this is tier 0, but yeah, tier 1 and beyond, seasonal changes.
Surface. This improves how our grass looks from a near
Yes,
perspective, as well as
yes.
bringing us nicely into how we're solving the distant representation of grass.
This is
So
just.
let's talk about the distance problem.
Gosh.
One of our biggest achievements with Genesis is allowing us to build beautiful biomes out of flora and geology.
Wait a minute. You making me think of this too. I would be curious. People have had that. I'm sure they would not want to carry that conversation of, or hold on to the conversation, obviously, right? But it's just to say, Unreal Engine, you alright, but damn. I mean, Unreal 5.2, we were talking about, they don't need to go to Unreal Engine 5.2. They are good. They are good. I'm sure you all will agree 100%. If not, please state your case now. If you feel so, Unreal 5.2, please make your case known. Please, I'm not going to debate you. Would you think, no, let's keep it moving.
Assets like
You know.
a building set. Like, can I say Lego?
No.
Too late. But in the past, this broke down very quickly when objects simply disappeared when viewing the same biome from 10, 20, 100 kilometers away.
Those
Because
clouds,
we've done high
man.
planetary transitions and allowing you to view complex regions from very large distances, there are almost infinite perspectives from which you can see a location in Star Citizen. So, how can we afford to evaluate complex
Yes.
spawning logic at runtime
Wait,
for the
there you
entire
go,
swathes
Sky.
of the planet?
Exactly.
Enter the virtual terrain. Virtual terrain, or VT for short, is how we now cache and represent our terrain at varying scales. This has been the enabler for all of the lovely advances in
LODs.
terrain complexity and asset spawning we've shown so far. And it's also how we now evaluate and represent vegetation from a distance. When creating the VT for each part
Virtual
of the terrain,
text,
we assess if vegetation has covered the ground, and if so, what shading should be
Amazing.
applied. For all of our biomes, we're now able to use the same shading model for the distant representation as the close-up asset, whether that's our lovely rolling hills, some more
Austin.
dramatic rockscapes,
You Austin.
those muggy wetlands,
Oh, nice man
or
style.
even
07.
our festering swamps.
I hear frogs.
So,
Oh my
yeah,
God, I hear
we
frogs.
didn't forget about the swamps, and they're coming to Nyx 1 as well.
Nyx
Built
1.
using the lessons learned and all the technologies we've developed, these swamps now spring into existence from the planetary data.
So, are we saying we're getting Nyx 1 first, along with Nyx 1, the planet, and we're also getting Levski? I would think, is that the case? So that tells me, man, they're bringing in, they're giving us a dripping, they're dripping it in, right? No pun intended, drip. But they're slow dripping in these features. I suspect they're getting closer to dynamic server meshing, because once we get to the point that, hey, they have the entirety of the system in, I think it's going to coincide potentially with keep your eye out on keep watching for Benoit Beausejour to make an announcement. That's all I'm saying. I think dynamic server meshing is around the corner, based on what they're trying to do, and them stating that, hey, it's a progress of dropping in all of Nyx. But I suspect that dynamic server meshing is not far behind. Nyx system with Levski and Delamar. Yep. Yeah, Delamar is the asteroid with the borehole. Levski is the landing zone. But I'm thinking we're gonna see Nyx 1 only. I mean, along with what you said, Mad Style, but I believe we're getting Nyx 1. It's already happening. Yeah. Yeah, Benoit was
This
mentioning
biome
that.
combines all of the elements from the other biomes we've shown you today, from water interaction, denser spawning, unique ground coverage, and I think it creates something really unique.
Oh gosh. Wow.
Anyway, that's our update on
Yes.
the Planet Tech portion of Genesis and how we're using it right now
Yeah.
to sculpt the
Upgraded
identity
visuals,
of Nyx
yeah.
1. And I hope
Well,
you're
we'll
as
know by
excited
next
as we are
month.
to explore this and
But you
everything
know
we
what?
haven't
I'm
shared
happy,
yet
man.
next year.
I'm happy. Let the devs dev.
As you can see, Genesis is now inspiring everyone here to create planets of the quality and
Yes.
believability we've
Yes.
always strived for. A meeting of technology and art that I truly believe
Creativity.
will set our worlds apart from anything we've done before. And
And
with
other
that said,
games.
let's move on to a little travel between systems, literally.
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of missed calls being
Up
used
until
now.
Our mission system has been specific to the star system you're in, meaning a Stanton mission has to take place in the Stanton system, and a Pyre mission has to take place there. We've never been able to link these together, but with the introduction of our third star system, it's time for this to change. And that begins with the introduction of interstellar cargo.
What are you talking about today?
System-to-system hauling missions. Hauling is back.
No one said hauling was gone.
People went crazy. They went crazy over this, man.
These are exactly what they say on the tin. Missions where you're going to start in, say, Stanton and end in Nix, taking various volumes of cargo between the stations. So there'll be high volumes of cargo that kind of fulfill the purpose for the Hull C and the other series of Hull ships. And there'll be a few sort of more direct routes.
So you might pick up some cargo from Ruin Station in Pyro and go through the jump point to Stanton and drop it off there at one of the Helios.
So if you've never sort of experienced the jump point or going through it, these missions will require you to. They're no way limited. You can do them in any sort of ship you want, any size of ship. I'll be doing them in my Drake Cutter myself, between Stanton and Nix.
Just a Drake Cutter.
I've got a few ships, but the Drake Cutter is really cute.
I send it. 07.
One thing that we're looking to add with these interstellar missions is scripted combat encounters where you can be attacked by NPC ships. Maybe the mission giver has tipped off some pirates who are looking to get a hold of that cargo, as well as express missions, which means the deadline timers that you're used to in the regular hauling missions might get really tight and you've got to learn to be very fast. All of the love and care that's gone into hauling missions so far.
I know you watched this.
Logistical network, making sure they make sense within the themes of the systems. Just as much love has gone into the interstellar missions.
I'm not gonna ask.
At the start of the show, we said we was going to build out the Nix system right in front of you after 4.4 launches next month. And while we want to keep as much of what we're doing behind closed doors, so you can discover it for yourself, in-game and on your own, we still are excited to share with you a brief look at one of our up-and-coming locations we're calling Rockcracker.
This is insane right here. This right here, man. Reasons to
Okay, so
mine.
Rockcracker, Jared, is our internal name.
Rockcracker is where you have to crack a rock. It's a big rock. You want more?
So conventional.
So way out into the Keegar Belt, you'll find these old QV breaker stations.
But you know what though? Is that a placeholder that kind of substitutes? Is it a substitute for the Orion? I wonder what's going to happen when the Orion gets on the scene. Will it be able to do something like that, or is it a setup for what the Orion will eventually be able to do? Maybe it's like a visual, hint of what's to come with those types of mining ships, or the ultimate in the mining ship series, which is the Orion. Yes, Trenton. It was pretty cool. Oh, Genesis, yep. Star Citizen Alpha comes out on November 18th. My 32nd happy birthday, Trenton. Young man. Oh, with your Perseus? Oh my gosh. Just don't go take it to Nix, man. Just don't take it to Nix. They're gonna scuff up the paint. And imagine doing some Orion mining out in this asteroid. It's gonna draw it. I'm just saying, man, what they're doing, how they're looking at mining. Now they've actually figured out how to do this in volume, right? So now they have the system that will support those larger ships like the Arastra or the Orion when you're mining on volume. Wow, so, it's borderline jealousy, man. I cannot break it down to nothing other than it's borderline jealousy with what people are doing, because it's kind of like ungrateful ungrateful attitude about things, because one instance you're upset about the landscape of gaming and you're looking at gaming as a dead wasteland, and your opinion is there's nothing out there. But then you have people who are really hell-bent on trying to give us a very unique experience, and hell, they're making strides, right? But yet it's never enough. And it's like, it's almost like, it goes back to that armchair developer mentality of, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do, this is what I would have done. And I'm like, no, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, people. Yeah, there you go, Trenton. It's always going to be something to say about being positive, but then it's always it's like this knee-jerk reaction to say, I gotta, I'm keeping it real here. It's like, I gotta show you I'm keeping it real here. And it's some of the things that are being said, it's not even grounded in reality. It's like it's being developed. And if you don't see it, that means they haven't gotten to it. Obviously, they haven't gotten to it. So why rail it? And other people are like, well, yeah, they haven't gotten to it. So what do you want from me? I'm enjoying what I'm seeing here. What do you want? I mean, I can be patient. Why can't you? Not fixing the game we had. Oh my gosh. It's simple. Play something else. It's simple. Wait until they give you your features and then come back later. But it's always, it feels like it's always a series of, I'm gonna move the goalpost a little further back because you're making field goals now. You're getting the football, you're kicking the football and it's going through the uprights. Let me pull it back a little more so you can fail or point out that whatever you're doing, it's a failure. Whatever you're not doing, that's being overshadowed of what you haven't produced, right? That's what it feels like. It's like, I'm going to point out what's not there so it debunks all your efforts of what you've done. No gratitude, no acknowledgement of, hey, you know what? I was waiting on that particular thing. I was looking forward to the Orion. Now that we have the mining and they've expanded on that, it would have been nice to have the Orion. But you know what? Damn, that Genesis, it hits, man. I'm good with that. But yeah, I'll just talk to them or see if next year, see if they can bring it next year. Stuff like that. That's what makes sense. It's a different thing where you're not appreciative of the efforts of what they're delivering upon, and you take one thing and it overwrites all their efforts. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Oh, GTA, I know. I'm not mad at you, Trent. I mean, yeah, it's a powerhouse, and that sets the bar for a Star Citizen as well. It sets the bar, and I mean, they're gonna have their niche as well. They're carving out their space as well to be an alternative to GTA. But it's got a ways to go because there's so many things that they have laid out. 1.0 in itself is a task, right? But they're getting closer to that mark. They're hitting those milestones. Oh wow, that's crazy. See what you just said, Trent. you love GTA, but that's a reality statement. What he says there's only one game that'll have me addicted to it, which comes out on May 26, 2026, and that's GTA 6. And that'll be my main game. So that'll tie me over. But then he brings in the reality. But Star Citizen, I'll always come back to it regardless. Whereas these salty opinions of this one thing, forget the rest. I'm gonna frame that one thing. Whatever. I don't care. So what? So what? So what? I'm still here. You're still here. So what? I'm gonna enjoy it. So you don't have it. So I'm liking what they're developing. And you're going to continue to hang around. You're not going to go anywhere. Where are you going to go? You're not going to go anywhere.
These were originally industrial facilities breaking apart.
You can't go anywhere. That's the thing. You
Since
cannot.
They've been mothballed and been left abandoned.
We know that.
So
you're not going to go
gonna
anywhere.
Have to find your way inside and thinking about how do we bring this facility back to life.
Oh, you will. You
not
will.
Just about flipping a switch. As you bring these stations back to life, you'll be lighting the beacon and calling attention to these long forgotten places.
That's interesting.
One of the main features is the laser head, which will require certain things to get working. It's up to you and your friends to find how to get in.
This will require a lot of
There'll be a
teamwork.
variety of options.
I'm going to jump.
Tanky spacecraft.
John
The
Crew.
firepower is almost unrivaled in terms of just both the number and the size of them. So it's there for players who don't want agility. They don't want to be in and out quickly. They want to be there brawling with
Yeah,
big
Macron
guns and
Stat
taking all the
3.
hits. One thing Isperia have done differently with the Stinger is they have done away with the majority of the bespoke weapons.
They heard everyone's complaints
What's
about
happening
Glyph
going
and
anywhere?
Glib
There you go.
and
I
have
said that.
stripped
We're
off
here.
the original Vandal weapons to allow customization for standard human weapons.
With the exception of the single size 5 gun.
Because it was too well integrated into the whole, even for Speria to remove.
All the additional weapons are
I mean,
generic mounts, so they can
again,
be swapped.
I respect people's opinions, and I'm not dismissing anything. But at the same time, I can boldly say I'm enjoying the experience. I'm enjoying how they are growing in their development process. And I'm fine with that. But I'm not going anywhere. They're not going to go anywhere either. They're not. They're going to hang around because it still has their attention. So they're not fooling me.
With any of the
There's a
existing
little
lines
hate
we
in
have
that,
the
though.
game. By
There's a
doing
little
this, it provides greater
hating in that.
flexibility to the end user, and this is something Xperia wanted for the civilian market. For that one bespoke weapon, the size 5 plasma cannon,
They're talented
functionally, it is
people,
the
man.
same
They're
as the
talented. It is
existing
what it
size
is.
5
They're
plasma
very
cannons
talented.
on the
They have a.
side and
This stuff
blade,
is
but it is a
complex.
Sort of Gen 2 model.
What they're
and
doing is
wraps it in a
complex.
different aesthetic.
I give them
compared to those
credit.
models. You'll see they're very much older Vandal style.
But,
This is
yeah,
much newer Vandal
a
styling.
little hate
But
is
underneath
framed
it
in
is
that.
the same weapon that people have used for years.
Our job as the vehicle art team
No,
on
no,
the
no,
PU
no.
was to take the Stinger from the
We
squadron
are-
team and prepare it for life in the PU. We took an opportunity to take, this really well-established art style and, add extra details where needed.
So the exterior is a real blend of these kind of hard surface, kind of rare alloyed kind of wings.
Smart
and then
guy.
underneath this
He's
real
a
kind
smart
of
guy, man.
organic structure that kind of webs all of the ship together. It connects the thrusters in, it connects all the kind of underside of the vehicle and pulls the whole ship together.
You can tell it's very different from the Vandal ships that are currently in the PU. If you take, for example, the way the cockpits are constructed.
Up at the front, we've got this big kind of bubble
Yeah,
dome.
he's a
that
mainstay,
gives the
man.
cockpit
He's been
quite
there.
a
He's there
unique
for a
shape
reason,
compared to
and
some
been
of our
there
other
for a
ships,
long
and also
time
gives the
for a
pilot
reason. He's
a unique
he's pretty
position
sharp.
within the ship and kind of gives great visibility out the front.
Boarding the Stinger is a little unusual compared to.
But
other
they're getting
ships,
better
obviously
at
being
what they
alien in
do,
nature.
though.
You
They're
go into
getting
a
better
ramp
at
the
what
rear,
they do.
and at least you kind of straight up into the belly of the ship.
There's,
Oh my gosh.
Lots of organic detail, rib cages, kind of strange alien forms.
On entry of the cockpit, the seat kind of comes down towards you and you kind of climb over the back of it a bit like a motorbike.
You're basically
Oh, wow.
riding into the cockpit. It feels very much like you're being
That's
like carried
crazy.
inside the cockpit.
Into the traditional prone flying pose that Vandal pilots use.
Whoa, who is this?
I'm very happy with the Stinger. I think the team done a really good job of making something that feels different,
Bro
it feels
has
alien,
just-
but it
just rate
suits
it.
our
Thank you
lineup
for
of
the
ships,
rate,
it suits our
Tweet.
universe.
I think the guys did a really good job of respecting the, the direction and vision from the original Stinger and Vandal ships and Squadron.
We've tried to take a lot of inspiration from movies
shout out.
and other
07
science fiction
tweet.
material, but I think it sits well within the
Our
Star Citizen
citizen.
universe.
So we have the Paladin for
I
People's
hope you
Alliance.
enjoyed it,
We have
Tweet, today.
the Stinger for people that really like Vandal and want to try and pretend to be them. But what about the other mysterious faction we have running around?
I hope you had a great stream. I'm hoping that you enjoyed CitizenCon Direct. Tweet. All the best. Thank you for the raid. Much appreciated. 07 to you.
So Gray Chowdhury got his start as he was working at a cargo center out in Odin. He started being able to get his hands on some stuff that other people couldn't, items that necessarily you couldn't find on a
They're
store
gonna make
shelf,
money.
but you wanted
They're
anyway.
gonna make money. They're a powerhouse.
Gray is interested in, happy customers. Gray just sees themselves as a conduit to get these things in the hands of people
Gray.
who are would appreciate them.
And I think that his latest offering is really going to turn some heads.
This threw me for a loop, man. This ship, it was like, huh?
So the Shiv, well, we don't really know what it is, to be fair.
It's what happens when someone who is a genius at aeronautics and ship assembly is given free rein to do whatever they want.
I think this opens up a new dynamic for piracy and maybe the framework for things to come for gangs and, outlaws. And I think what we're seeing is, hey, we have an established manufacturer. Matter of fact, we even added another established ship manufacturer like Kruger. But this is interesting because they're saying, what if there was a person that says, you know what? I see all manufacturers, and you know what I can do? I have the ability, like he said, this is a genius, Gray. I have the ability to take the best of each manufacturer and make an amalgam of something that you may have not flown, or you fly it, you see remnants of it, but it's a total different ship. And I think that's an interesting dynamic by CIG to kind of like say what's old is what's new. And so I didn't understand right off the bat, because visually I'm pulled in. I'm like, Drake? It's like, no, and that was the first thing. I was like, Drake-ish? But no, it is basically the concept of taking all manufacturers and say, hey, all the cards are on the table. There's nothing we're going to hold back. If we have something that makes sense.
Damn, son.
07.
You just hit with a wow effect.
Thank you for the follow. 07. It's just to say, where's my my alerts, man? It's not coming up. It's just to say, thank you, Tweet. It's just to say, no ship is safe from Gray. No ship manufacturer is nothing sacred. There's no sacred manufacturer. Even Origin. Origin is at risk of being amalgamated and twisted. Thank you. Thank you, Tweets. Shout out to you, Tweets. Yep. What did we say at the same time, Trent? Oh, when they get crafting and shipbuilding fully implemented, I hope we can do this too. Build out a ship with different engines as well. Skyhawk, that's a damn great point, man. That's a damn great point.
The best of whatever they can find lying around.
Yep.
Put together to make something truly.
So this is man, you know what? We're playing checkers here. They're freaking playing chess right in our faces. Knight takes queen. Checkmate. Game. Check. I mean, they are literally playing checkers in our face. That's literally, you know what? And what was the thing? You know what, man? Oh my God, Starfield. The shipbuilding aspect of ship crafting of ships, Starfield-ish. This is feeling a little Starfield-ish. Fieldish, if that's a word. But yes, I could definitely see this is a sneak peek without them announcing anything, because, you know, a lot of things were held back until, you know, for 2026. A lot of things. So this is a great segue into, man, just keep watching.
Unique, wonderful, arguably beautiful, and just released out into the universe to see what happens.
At first glance at the exterior of the Shiv, I think most people will probably recognize there is more than a fair proportion of a Cutlass visible there, but it's had quite a few changes to it.
As you look a little bit closer, you'll start to pick out elements from other ships. You've got, you know, main thrusters that are from the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Even the bits that are obviously a Cutlass have had panels welded on, panels removed. The top turret, which is now remote, is just this hodgepodge amalgamation with multiple other ships' turrets. And then the changes continue onto the inside, where again, it sort of feels Cutlass-like, but then you'll find there's bits of Crusader ships just integrated into the wall instead of what was there originally.
It has lost its side entrance, some of its cargo capacity, but what it's gained is it's gained visually more powerful thrusters. It's gained a really kind of nice set of belly thrusters. It's upped its firepower.
As ever, with the refined work from Gray's Market, you can see that great care was taken to the health and safety to ensure that there's no trip hazards anywhere.
There's like loose cables, panels are exposed.
Maelstrom,
if you look
right?
carefully, you'll notice there are like tools laying around in the cockpit.
It's gained a toilet.
Ouch, that was a bad joke. That was a bad joke right there. I'm like, are y'all playing right now?
It's not an animal.
It has very much taken that ethos of Drake and moved it down a level, which I think is quite an achievement.
Just look at this thing. How do you even begin to describe the madness that created this? It's the ship.
Backers, community getting their hands on shipbuilding.
This is something
whatever
new
parts
and
they
different
can.
for Star
Yep,
System.
templates.
Where did it come from?
I'm not going to answer that.
See?
Just nothing. Just
I'm not going to answer it.
Gray goes to places and talks to people. I mean, you know, there are just many ways to find these things that...
Templates.
You know, I mean...
Ship templates.
Are they legitimate, you know, manufacturers? No. Are they operating on the right side of the law? Maybe not, but, you know...
They're crafting.
Money's money.
Does Gray have a motto, an ethos to live by?
It probably comes down to, don't ask where I got it, don't ask how we got it.
Don't worry about it. Just ask if you want it.
I think the Shiv is for someone that is looking for something a bit different, a bit away from the norm, that just wants something...
Well, yeah, Skyhawk. The Perseus, that's John and Ben Curtis's baby for next month, the IAE. So they really want to hold that, put a pin in it, and like, it's right next month, right? And it's more of a full-on promotion campaign with Perseus for next month, literally next month. And yeah, they did right by holding it back and not, letting this bleed over into that and take any thunder or you know, any thunder away from IAE, because that will be the ship, no doubt about it. And we might see some more ships as well. That could be a strong possibility, especially with the Perseus. You know what? It doesn't bother me, because I understand what they stated. They said that the Perseus is coming in November. If you didn't understand that, people might understand it, but that's you. That's on you. Have a right to be mad, but I'm okay with them not mentioning it. So when IAE comes, I'm good that they held it back, and they get a splash. They get a unique take and undivided attention on IAE. I don't want IAE to bleed into this, so I'm good with that. It's your, what's that saying? It's your prerogative, right, to be upset, but it does not affect my opinion, and I think they're, in my opinion, they're making a great choice by doing that. It builds up the hype. It gets the anticipation up, and what if, you know, they announced it and there was something that was holding it up? This gives them all the room in the world to, you know, meet expectations without jumping ahead. I'm glad they did it. Don't jump ahead. I know. That's why I laughed when as soon as I said, "But where's my galaxy?" I knew what you were doing right there.
That's unique.
Exactly.
It's definitely for people who like a rustic aesthetic.
It's a fun ship, but it's also really strong, to be honest, and it's absolutely a statement.
Uh-oh.
I'm happy with the 3 ship offerings. They are obviously very combat heavy.
There's something we wouldn't normally release all at once, but honestly, all of them are a different statement, and they're all cool.
As always, super excited to release these ships into the game and just see how players react and play with them. It's always fun.
Which one? The Shiv, Trent? I think this is a, you know, like Dumper's Depot, that's gone away. I think Gray is the new Dumper's Depot. So basically, he's crafting, basically, having the options of grabbing whatever part from whatever manufacturer that exists and coming up with his own ship. Gray. Yep. Oh, it's the Shiv, decent price, right? At the Paladin, expected price. The Stinger, for its size, it's a heavy fighter. It makes sense. It's not cheap, but I totally get it. Yeah. Yep.
To see the quirks and the shenanigans that people get up to with them. So that's talking ship for another year.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you can do the thing with Lexi.
So I've just been informed that we have to do a bit of a timeshare agreement this year. So we have to throw it over to Alexi for Talking Weapons, which is an extremely original name.
Dry humor, man. John Crew, dry humor.
I'm talking about the new edition that came out in October. The non-weapons are essentially the weapons that does not have a manufacturer, the weapons that you can think of that were made by space pirates.
Gray sells whatever he can sell.
Sometimes he gets his hands on some weapons that come from unknown origin.
Just like ships, weapons. The crafting of weapons, right? There's a prelude into that.
No company in their right mind would ever make.
These are the most kind of like scrappy and taped together and the most kind of like pyro-ish weapons. That
Pyro-ish.
Right now we're
That is a
releasing
word.
3 new weapons. Rocket launcher,
Damn.
the LMG, and the long-awaited Space AK.
Oh, wow.
I think
that
this
thing
is
is
the one
mule
that
kicker.
not only is the most in demand, but I've been politely badgered about the most. It's a fun rifle that basically fires energy and ballistic in sequence. So your first shot
Energy
will be your
and
ballistic,
bullet.
your second shot will be the energy. You'll see on the top of the art, there is a bolt that cycles the rounds, and that goes off with the ballistic shot, but it does not go off with the energy shot. And that is just like a really fun
insane.
way of making a weapon work in kind of like a scrappy, glued together kind of
That's
aesthetic.
crazy, man.
The LMG, this thing is a really fun, slow-firing, hard-hitting beast.
It will bring the 50 cal, and the only other weapons that have this right now in the verse are the Bearing Sniper
See?
Rifle and the Coda.
Honestly,
These
if
templates
you
are gonna
even get
come.
hit by one, you just instant tier 1 injury, back to medical.
But you know what, though? Based on, this is a prelude to crafting. I think the one thing that's holding back, I think if they had Maelstrom really in a state of where they needed to be, it might have been on the menu, or it might have been part of the presentation with crafting. I think they're close, and I think crafting and Maelstrom system is a one-to-one experience. One can't exist without the other. I think that's what I'm suspecting, that there's still, because we haven't heard of Maelstrom system, this is why we're getting these weapons of possibilities right here. Once we get, I believe we get Maelstrom system, then it's going to open the doors for being able to craft different brands and manufacturers across ships and weapons.
Are you even trying anymore?
You know what? We made all these really complicated, fancy guns, and some people just I want a slow-firing rifle. Give me a scrap-together box that fires the biggest thing you can possibly find.
We don't have a rocket launcher of this caliber. It will be 3 grenades straight together.
I'll stop them so many times.
Into the tube and fire towards your enemies. The cool part about it will have an arming distance, so you will not be able to just point it towards an enemy.
That's a great point, Scott.
So it's going to have a lot of spread. So essentially, you're going to have to get very close to your launcher to be able to blow up ships with a single payload in it. You can't actually aim with the apparatus, because you've got the tube on your shoulder.
Nasty.
And you try to aim it, you'd have to physically put the tube in your head. So we were like, that's
going to be a problem to people, man.
And then we
that's going to be a
realized,
freaking problem.
It's in the spirit of being a tube that you can't use the aiming apparatus, and you just kind of like, all right, I think that's the middle of the screen, I'm going to hit it.
It's in the spirit of being a tube.
Are we going to talk about binoculars? Binoculars are really cool. We don't have anything like this in the verse.
Binoculars.
And I think it will be really convenient to use something that's dedicated to look for the things, especially far away, instead of using your sniper scope, for example.
Yeah.
Will the binoculars have glint?
Nope.
I'm not aware of this one. Probably not, because binoculars are not something that you need to be aware of.
It's really funny because obviously, due to Glintgate, as I beautifully internally call it, basically there was a lot of community feedback basically saying like, oh, I really like spotting people. I really like playing a spotter. And essentially I was like, oh, this community wants to be able to spot people from distances. And what can we make gadget-wise that doesn't require new features? And it was
I'm going to scroll ahead, but I'm starting to get sleepy now. You guys got to know, I was up since 5 a.m. All right, let me see what Benoit has to say real quick.
There's a number of slots, and so some of those areas will be completely instanced on different servers. This allows us to leverage the compute power of the entire mesh. The closed ones will be really to drive one piece of content. You enter and exit seamlessly, just like we do with your instance hangars currently. Let's go and find out what one of our first instances will be.
We're going back to Orison, y'all.
Siege of Arisen was an event we did previously,
That's gonna be challenging.
which created a gameplay scenario where the player had to run through and progress through contested islands of Arisen. This was a high-paced, high-intensity event, but it struggled a little bit from its technical execution. But now with the introduction of instancing, it gives us an opportunity to evolve it and modify it and make it better for you and a small
That was
group
fun, too.
to work through that activity.
It is an event that I had the honor of pretty much solely designing and building all of the logic and having the stress of trying to get it working.
Agent Dooley from the CDF puts the call out for volunteers because basically the Nine Tails have taken over sort of a cluster of floating platforms in Orison.
And you are there to kill these sort of lieutenants of this terrorist organization and take back control. So in our current thinking, Siege of Orison is designed for about a 15 to 20 people fire team. So you, your friends, or your org will go in, you'll all have sort of dedicated roles. Some of you might be the tank.
The People's Alliance are still trying to get to the bottom of what this new faction is really doing in the Nyx system.
They've sent a capital
I'm
ship
getting
to check out
sleepy
a
now.
station and run into more than they can.
I'm running out of juice, man. I want to end it with. It started with Chris. Let me end it with Chris.
That's it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as with every CitizenCon, the last word shouldn't be mine. It should belong to our founders and CEO. So take it away,
There it
Chris
is,
Roberts.
Chris. Yes, yes.
I hope you enjoyed this glimpse into some of what the team is cooking for the near future. Of course, we're not going to spoil everything that's currently in progress, and many features we haven't discussed today are in active development, like base building, social, and trade tools that are very much a priority. These, along with bringing the final polished features from Squadron 42 into the persistent universe, will make next year the most exciting yet for Star.
That's it right there. It's next year. It's next year. He just said it. That was his thunder right there. Yes, that was his thunder. Next year.
So before we let you go, that's it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as with every CitizenCon, the last word shouldn't be mine. It should belong to our founders and CEO. So take it away, Chris Roberts.
But when you, Scott, when you say next year, we're halfway through the first month of the third quarter. In other words, we finish up with October, then there's November, which is probably the last patch, and they get a break for December. That's it. We're in 2026. In the next 2.5 months, we're in 2026. It's no time at all.
I hope you enjoyed this glimpse into some of what
just
the team
to put it into perspective, though. Just to put it into perspective. It's October 12th. We're almost halfway there. And you have November, one more patch. Nyx will keep us busy, right? December, just relax. It's the holidays. And then January 2026, which I think when they get back from holiday and time off, that's when we get the update to the roadmap. That's going to be insane, man.
Cooking for the near future. Of course, we're not going to spoil everything that's currently in progress, and many features we haven't discussed today are in active development, like base building, social, and trade tools that are very much a priority. These, along with bringing the final polished features from Squadron 42 into the persistent universe, will make next year the most exciting yet for Star Citizen.
Yeah.
Finally, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to everyone at CIG for working so tirelessly and with so much passion to deliver something that is already special and will only get more so as we continue. And of course, to all of you for making all this possible with your support and feedback. We couldn't do this without all of you, something that I and the team appreciate every day. We are very lucky to be allowed the time and the money to build a game of all of our dreams, something that is only more apparent as the video game business becomes more monolithic. We are one of the few large independents left standing, and there is no way we would be allowed to dream as big as we are on an original game and take the time to achieve that dream if we were part or funded by any of the few remaining mega game companies. So thank you. And I look forward to seeing you all in the verse this coming year.
Yes. Awesome. Everyone, thank you so much. Get a little shut-eye, but I would definitely want to come on tomorrow, and I would like to get you in Discord and hear your takes on this, give your opinions on this podcast or whatever, and definitely want to hear your opinions on things. So, yep, I'm gonna jump on tomorrow and three tomorrow. Okay, 3 sounds good. Yeah, 3 o'clock. That sounds good. Awesome. Everyone, thank you so much. And one hell of a night. We know it's moving forward. It's obvious. Those pillars, they're hitting those marks, man. 0 to the 7, sir. Chat, what Skyhawk said.
The truth. You can't handle the truth. It's about that bottom line, baby.